today's video is going to be about service dogs in the workplace, specifically part 2, because I have made a video about this before. One of my biggest things when I was getting a job, my first question was, should I bring my service dog, Zeke, to the interview? And this is a big question because this could decide whether you get the job or not. People can, even though it's against the law, they can still discriminate you and say, without telling you, that they're not going to hire you because of your dog. So some things that I thought about was, well, if they're not going to hire me because of my dog, I don't want to hide it, because you can go 2 routes. You can bring your service dog and act like they're not there because technically they're medical equipment. It's like leaving your wheelchair at home because you're too scared to bring your wheelchair to your interview because you don't want them to look at you as disabled. But the best thing, in my opinion, would be to bring your service dog. And I say this because if you hide it and then afterwards you're like, hey, okay, I need this accommodation, I need to bring my service dog to work, they're going to be like, hold up, what? We hired you and you didn't tell us about this beforehand? So if they're going to be mad about it if you do bring your service dog to the interview, they're going to be mad about it if you hide it. Like, it's just going to happen. So you just got to keep on trying until you find that job that works best for you. When you go to the interview, I'd bring several things. I'd bring your paperwork, like not paperwork as in like, this is my registered service dog. Registered. I'd bring your doctor's note and like post-it note of your disabilities out, because technically they don't need to know your disabilities until after they hire you, if I'm not mistaken. So if they really do give you a hassle and you just give up, you can give that to them. Although I'd also show them the ADA, specifically Title I, which has to do with employment. 2 other good places to go for information or give to the employer would be Ask Jan. Jan stands for Job Accommodation Network, and the EEOC, which is Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. If I'm not mistaken, that also has to do along that line. So these are laws that they have to follow along with human rights. It's your human right for them to hire you with your service dog. They cannot tell you no, because if you don't know, service dogs are medical equipment to, I think it's manage or something, and perform tasks to help the owner with a disability. So hands down, I'd say yes, bring your service dog to the interview. If you don't think your service dog can handle it, then I wouldn't bring them. I wouldn't bring them to work until they are ready. I'd say wait, stick with training until you feel your dog is ready. Zeke is 1 year old. Zeke is about to be 1, and I feel he can handle it. I mean, he goes to school. This would be something where I know he could handle it, and I know I could have him off leash if I needed to stalk something, because I actually did just get a job, and that's partly why I'm making this video, because these are things I wish I knew when I was starting this process. So some of the questions that the person interviewing you is going to ask is basic interview questions. Most likely, if you're in a group, I ended up being in a group interview, but if you're in an individual interview, they're going to ask you, where would you take him to the bathroom? Would he need to eat? Would he need breaks? Stuff like that. And I personally said yes, because he's young. And his breaks would be during my breaks. All companies, all jobs have to give you breaks no matter what. So that's when I would take him out. I would take him out because it's in a mall. I'd take him out to a certain spot because there's an exit nearby. Sorry, I'm saying and because a lot. But I'd take him out there, let him go to the bathroom. If he needed water, I'd give him water. I don't think he'd need food. I feed him at lunch, but if he did, I'd give him food. And that would be it. That would be his break. Most service dogs should be able to handle without going to the bathroom. I'd just rather be safer than sorry. So that's with that. I'm thinking a little more ahead, but during my job, I'll probably bring, if I'm behind a cashier, I might bring a place, like, not a place, but like a towel for him to lay down on, so he knows, like, that's visibly a spot that he needs to lay on. And I just make sure their heel is in position to a good spot. Bring extra food. I always bring a water bottle with me. I always have my water bottle with me. So bring your water bottle. I share that with Zeke. I have his collapsible bowl. But that's one of the biggest things I was curious about that no one really had answers. Should I bring my service dog to the interview? Yes. If you can't go to that job without your dog, or like some people, it's like debatable whether they can go without, but I don't think I could. Zeke has made me more independent than I had, like, really never thought I could be. I haven't been this independent since I was a little kid. Even though I had my mom and dad, I wasn't this social. I wasn't myself in a way, without Zeke. So I know this would be a job I couldn't do without him. So that's why I decided to bring him. And I happened to be lucky, and my manager, I didn't even know she was my manager. And I came up to her and I said, "Hi, I'm here for an interview at 2:00. Is this person around?" And they were like, "Oh, that's me." I was like, "Oh, cool." Well, they didn't really say that, but they said, "Come back at 2:00. But I found out that was actually my manager, and she was so obsessed with Zeke. She was like, "Oh my God, I know I'm not allowed to pet, but can I pet him?" And I was like, why not? So that, I think, got me some brownie points, not gonna lie. But so I had some small talk with her. She was like, "Oh, I have a couple dogs, and he's just so adorable." So yeah, that's basically it. Is, yes, bring your service dog. If you feel comfortable, bring your dog, because it's definitely not going to be good if you don't bring your dog and you're like, "Hey, I need a service dog." One thing before this video is over is, if the like store or wherever you're working, other than a bakery and stuff like that, because other than the basic laws, service dogs can't work with you in a restaurant and stuff like that, is if there is more than 15 employees, they have to accommodate for your service dog. They have to accommodate you. So big companies, which is where most people will be getting jobs, unless you are like going to a local place, if they have more than 15 employees, they have to accommodate. So that's another thing. So bring your ADA. If you want, bring Ask Jan and Equal Employment Opportunity Commissions. Bring that with. So you're ready. You are ready to give them information, and be ready to talk about your dog, because they're going to want to know about your dog too. I think that's it. That's it.